Hello and welcome to Georgia Bulldogs Live here on the Georgia Voice of College Football. I'm your host, Matt Green. That is my co-host over there, Bo Underwood. Bo, how you doing, sir?
Good, Matt. Good. I'm a little bummed out today by the passing of Ozzy Osbourne. I'll be honest, but
Oh
um,
yeah, you big Ozzy
yeah,
fan?
I've been listening to Black Sabbath all day, man. That's a legend, man. Rest in peace. This episode is dedicated to the Prince of Darkness. But I'm good otherwise. How are you?
Yeah, should have started Chipper Jones style with a
Yeah, we
little
should.
crazy train action. Probably have to pay royalties or something like that.
These record companies.
But yeah, that's true. R.I.P. Ozzy Osbourne. Who was the other one? Theo Huxtable. I forget
Yeah,
the real guys. Malcolm,
and Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Malcolm Jamal
Yeah,
Warner. Yeah, there you
Jamal Warner
go.
passed away yesterday. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's always happens in threes, right? So someone else is out there. I don't know if there's another one I'm forgetting right now, but yeah.
We lost Sly Stone and Brian Wilson like a month ago. Like it's just bad right now, man.
Oh, is that right? You a big Black Sabbath guy?
I enjoy Black Sabbath. I'm not like a diehard Black Sabbath fan, but I like their music and I've always appreciated how influential they are. Those dudes like invented hard rock damn near. So
That
shout out.
is fair. You gotta it's like watching old movies. You kind of have to watch like through a lens of like, keep in mind, no one was doing
But,
this back then. They were
but
the
like no
first
one's
ones.
doing it now either. Like I've been listening. I listened to probably 3 of their albums today, and like could have come out today and it would still be crazy. Like they were on some ish, man. I'll say that. They were ahead of their time and they were all, like, yeah, they're sick. R.I.P. bro.
Yeah, absolutely. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Ozzy Osbourne. Did you ever watch the show on MTV, The Osbournes?
I've seen a little bit of it.
That was a
It
wild
it
show.
looks mad entertaining. Like I should check it out more because it's just like him and his family. Like, ooh, we're British. Like it's funny.
Yeah. Oh, Karen, and just
Yeah,
fucking
sure.
just beep beep, mumble mumble beep beep. It's pretty funny.
Dude, yeah. What a life, man.
Yeah, for sure. But so that's a sad note. But on a happy note, sir, we're under 40 days till college football season.
Yes.
We're almost in the month that college football will be played in. 39 days till college football season. Terry, thanks for tuning in live. Too much talk for Terry. I don't know what you
The whole
expected on
show
this
is talking, man.
show. We're gonna do a lot of talking, but we got to pay tribute to a legend.
Yeah.
So, but point noted, point taken. We are 39 days till college football season, and 39 was a hard one to come up with for the best.
No, it was.
There's two different answers here for the best for the top 39 in Georgia history. The first one that comes to mind for me was Corey Moore, solid safety, like 2013, 2014. I want to say he was like the third safety on Georgia's roster at one point, but he was on the Texans. He started for the Texans for a couple years. So he made some moves in the NFL, but he was 2014. Who was that? Quincy.
Yeah, he was.
I want to call him Mauger, but Quincy
Mauger.
I'll never forgive Quincy Mauger for being like a senior and then be like, oh, by the way, everyone's saying my name. Like, bro, say this when you're getting recruited. I'm not like, were you just afraid to correct people? Like, they're just calling you Mauger. I called this guy Quincy Mauger for 4 years.
Yeah, no, literally.
But yeah, Quincy Mauger, I was on that team. I guess that would have been Trey Matthews. Would have been on that 2013. So maybe Corey Moore is the third safety on that team. And then maybe he did start 2014. I can't remember off the top of my head who else. Josh Harvey Clemens was kicked off at some point. He may have not been there by 2014. I'm a big Josh Harvey Clemens guy. He's one of the what ifs in Georgia history. I wish you could get Josh Harvey Clemens in playing that star role or something for a Kirby Smart defense.
Yeah, I have it here. Corey Moore started 7 games in 2013 and 6 in 2014. So
okay, do you know who got the other starts at safety?
I'm just on Wikipedia right now, but I assume that it was like Trey Matthews and Josh Harvey Clemens, at least in 2013, 2014.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of Let me see here.
Well, there's another number 39 who is more noteworthy for his contributions, not on the field, but on the sideline. And that is, of course, Parker Jones, who was infamously given a sideline interference penalty in the Sugar Bowl, negating a huge game by Arian Smith. And, yeah, that sucks because he was just some random, SAE kid who got on the team somehow. I've seen it, since that happened, I ran into Parker Jones in public 3 times just in Athens. He's just like a guy. And
just a guy.
He ended up in the most unfortunate situation of all time. And he's got one hell of a story to tell, I guess. But I don't think that lost Georgia the game or anything, but it definitely had an impact. And one of the most bizarre moments in Georgia football history for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was absurd. That Parker Jones last year, he obviously, the game obviously is not his fault that the offense scored 10 points in that game.
Yeah.
But man, just desperately seeking any momentum on offense whatsoever, and you get this huge play, and now it would have been ball at the 10 or something instead. It was at the 25.
Yeah, it was great.
And you just knew with how things were going. We're like, we're not going to score a touchdown on this drive, are we?
No.
I will say, and I felt like this, honestly, maybe I'm just a biased Georgia fan, but it feels like there's some unprecedented things that happen in Georgia games. You got the Texas game. We're going to overturn a pass interference call that we called. We're just going to do that for the first time ever in a football game.
We've been on the show for 7 minutes. We can't start complaining about the Texas pass interference yet, man.
No, but it's just I think there was an Ohio State game in the playoff that Ryan Day got in the ref's way, and they didn't call anything. It's just these things happen. I feel like the ref had a power trip about it. It's bro, there's not even a call to make down there. Yeah, sideline warning, whatever you want to do, but it's I don't know, 15-yard penalty in that situation. It's just, you don't see that in other football games. I remember after the Eason to Riley Ridley against Tennessee, Rico McGraw runs on the field without a helmet and gets the penalty. And I watched multiple games that year of guys running on the field. It was I think that was the same year. That was the same year Penn State actually beat Ohio State and won the Big Ten that year. They had that blocked kick that they took to the house or something. And I remember so many people being on the field without a helmet on that play. And I was just I swear, I might just be a butthurt, biased Georgia fan, but it feels like they're not. It feels like they call stuff on Georgia that they never call it. It's we're calling that now. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I had never seen that. I mean, I don't think I'd ever seen a sideline interference penalty actually get called in a game. The only thing I can this is an NFL play, but the only other one that I can think of is when Mike Tomlin almost tripped Jacoby Jones. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to Jacoby Jones. I don't think that got
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. Chopper City Juke. He had the huge deep bomb from Flacco to beat Denver. He had a lot of performance. May God rest his soul. But yeah, that was another awesome Jacoby Jones moment. He found his way in a lot of interesting plays for sure. And I don't think that was even a penalty. I think that was a thing that people were mad about for a while. It's Mike Tomlin. He's a dirty.
Yeah, that was legitimate interference. I remember Pickens had the squirted the water bottle on the Tennessee dude. I'm not saying you should have got a.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
That was just so funny.
You just don't even see stuff like
I
that.
love George Pickens so much, man.
Should that have been a 15-yarder? Get a little squirt of water. This kind of a little refreshing,
It felt good, yeah. He's probably thanks, George. George.
Yeah. So Corey Moore saw. Oh, Dominic Sanders was a true freshman, 2013.
Really? Okay,
so yeah, I think he was starting by the end of that year because there was that Missouri game.
39 or something as a freshman.
The Missouri game would have been. Was that the first game that Gurley was suspended, 2014? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
so that was the game. That was one of the weirdest Georgia games.
They won 34-0, and Nick Chubb went insane.
Yeah, I've never seen a game like that. That was just, it was like a noon kickoff. I was like, I maybe woke up at like 11:50. I was just like, man, I'm just like, I'm not even excited about this game at all. Like, I don't know, like Gurley's out. I don't know what's gonna happen, and we had like 5 picks. Like, it was insane. And Nick Chubb had his coming out party. Brendan Douglas with that front flip, I think was that same game. Yeah, that was a beatdown.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end for Missouri in the SEC. They had 1 year of being good and no longer.
Yeah, I guess that's true too. We're coming off back-to-back losses to Missouri going into 2014 too. So
true.
Yeah, and then you didn't see Georgia beat down many teams like that. It was 34-0. That was the final score.
Yeah. You ever just like, no offense to any Missouri fans, but you ever just like lie awake wondering like why Missouri is in the SEC? I don't get it. I just think, why are they in the SEC? They're not even. I don't know. It's before all the TV deal crap too. They just joined it.
Yeah, it was pretty random too. Not even like the best team from the Big 12. Like A&M and Missouri felt really random. But yeah, I mean A&M. I guess you're like trying to get out of Texas's shadow. That makes a little more sense. Yeah, but I don't know. I do not have sleepless nights about it, though, personally.
Dude, when I can't sleep, sometimes I'm like, this is all because Missouri is in the SEC.
It's not even the Southeast.
It's like, dude, it's nowhere close. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Anywho, so speaking of the Southeastern Conference, I was not able to make it yesterday. But you joined you went into the belly of the beast, the Alabama Voice of College Football channel, and had a talk with them yesterday. How did that go?
It was good. I wore a Jameson Williams Lions t-shirt as like a peace offering, but I forgot to show it to them on the stream, so it was just completely pointless. But no, it was good. We basically previewed the Alabama-Georgia game way too early, about 2 months in advance, which I guess it's not way too early anymore, but kind of broke down offense, defensive players to watch on each side. And I think the biggest takeaway that we have is like, we don't really know how good either of these quarterbacks are, but you can have more of a hunch about them than maybe most incoming new starters in college football, just because both of these guys have sat for, 3 years behind other guys and waited for their turn. And that's incredibly rare. It's just something that you don't see anymore. It's something that most people just straight up don't do anymore. So, yeah, hopefully it's a more normal football game than the one that happened last year, but it was a good time. It was a good time breaking down both sides of the ball for both of those teams. Playoffs should be the minimum for both of those teams, so it'll be a hell of a game.
So how are they feeling over there? Are they nervous?
No, Alabama, they're always feeling good, and rightfully so. They brought in Ryan Grubb, and a lot of it was just them kind of talking about how the offense has room to improve with a vertical pocket passer like Ty Simpson, as opposed to Jalen Milroe, who, I like Jalen Milroe, but a lot of times Jalen Milroe tried to just kind of get by on his athleticism alone, which obviously he has that in spades, but
it worked a lot. Yeah,
it worked a lot, but it also didn't work a lot of times, which is a big reason why they had those horrible losses that they did to Oklahoma, Vanderbilt. But I think they're feeling pretty good. Alabama brings back a lot more of its defense also than Georgia does, and they've got studs on that side of the ball. LT Overton is going to lead an insanely stacked defensive line, so it'll be a really hard fought game. It'll be won in the trenches like it always is, that cliche, but there's just a lot of unknowns with both of these teams. I'd still probably say there's more unknown with Georgia than there is with Alabama, because, they return a guy like Ryan Williams and they bring back, Jam Miller and everything, but no one really has a lot of continuity in college football anymore anyway, so we'll just have to see. It hopefully is not a I mean, maybe it is an insane game again, and maybe Georgia comes out on top, but I would like it to not be a game where Georgia goes down 28 points in the first half.
Yeah, I would recommend not going down 28-0. I think that's increases the win probability for sure. I think it feels like there's more confidence nationally in Ty Simpson than Gunnar Stockton. I don't know, like rightly or wrongly. I don't know. I'm not necessarily making a case. These are both the 4th and 7th ranked quarterbacks of the 2022 class, according to 24/7. It feels like because Ty Simpson's a 5-star, everyone's like, okay, he's going to come in and ball. And how many 5-stars do we have to see not be any good at all to like, okay, this isn't just like a guarantee. Just because you're a 5-star, you're going to pan out. Like we see guys not pan out all the time. So I don't know. I think it's just interesting how, and maybe it's more the supporting cast that Alabama has around Ty Simpson. People are just more confident in. But I think it's interesting how he seems to be being talked about as more of a known quantity, like a known commodity than I would really think of him as.
I think a lot of that is just because he's stuck around for that long, because it's really, I mean, even at a place like Alabama, it's really rare to see a top 5 quarterback come in, not win the job his first year, not win the job his second year, not win the job his third year, and still not transfer. Like, you don't see that anymore. And so I think people are kind of right to be like, well, hold on, what's going on there? Like, because a lot of quarterbacks, especially 5-stars in that situation, would have already jumped ship by now. So I think it says a lot about Ty Simpson that he's stuck around. So he also just has more knowledge of, yeah, he's a 5-star. Not every 5-star pans out, but he's a 5-star who's been, hitting the books for 3 years and then learning the system. It's like you compare that to Keelan Russell, another 5-star quarterback on Alabama's roster. It's like he's a true freshman. If they threw him out there week 1, sure, there's a chance he might just be the craziest quarterback ever and, have an insane true freshman season. That happens sometimes, but more often than not, true freshman quarterbacks just aren't very good because they aren't prepared. But Ty Simpson is just not – I know he doesn't have a lot of really important game experience at all, which Gunnar Stockton does. But also, I don't think Ty Simpson is going to come into this season looking unprepared or anything by any means. So I think that's kind of where that comes from.
No, I hear you there. I think that's like the exact same Jalen Hurts situation, right? Like It was like Blake Barnett, like 5-star that had been there for a couple years. Then a true freshman comes in and he's just better from day one. And maybe Keelan Russell is the guy and it's not Ty Simpson, but I guess Alabama's definitely got options.
I would be stunned if Ty Simpson is not the week 1 starter. Like, that would be insane, I think, because he's been groomed for this for a while now. He's been waiting in the wings for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's definitely a massive game, and we're going to get into Georgia's most dangerous games later in the show, and I think everyone has Alabama at the top of that list, but we'll get into some of those other dangerous games.
Hey, what about the national champions to be?
The national champions to be?
Hand them the trophy now.
The kings of the SEC.
Yeah, the SEC runs through Austin. Just don't check.
That's true. Here. I'll be honest. How do you feel about horns down?
I'm for it.
I feel like, I don't know. I almost don't want to give them the satisfaction of horns down. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't need to do a special taunt just for you guys. Like, I don't know. You're not worthy of the horns down.
I like that it was like a 15-yard penalty to do that in the Red River game because it hurt their feelings so much. So I think you should do it more. I don't even like.
I do agree with that. The fact that they're so sensitive about it, I guess that's fair. I think we should all be doing it just for that. It's like the SEC. That's not going to be a penalty. So I'm definitely here for that. But before we get to that, it's kind of our main topic of the day. Have you seen the discourse on the internets about Carson Beck at ACC Media Days? Have you seen any of this?
The discourse on the internet surrounding Carson Beck has never been good. It's never.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's never once made me not want to pull my hair out.
Yeah,
Yes,
and I mean,
I have been surfing the web and seeing what people are typing about Mr. Beck.
and maybe I shouldn't even be dignifying this, with a topic, but it just
Dude, it's
I don't. So
dog.
Carson Beck at ACC Media Days is talking about what he said. Since I've been here in January, developing relationships. Oh, that's the part that guy took exception with. He didn't develop relationships and stuff and chemistry with Georgia's players. I don't know, just some terrible narrative. But I think the other part most people are reading between the lines is it's like it's one of the better decisions he's ever made in his life, and it's like he didn't say it was the best decision he's ever made in his life. Like there's and maybe it is. He's not throwing any shade whatsoever at Georgia. And this is why I don't look at Carson Beck as a Georgia transfer. Like I don't look at him as an AD Mitchell. Like obviously AD Mitchell left on good terms. It's probably a bad example. But I was still like super bummed. Like AD Mitchell should be on our team right now. Like Carson Beck was going to the NFL. Regardless, he wasn't going to be on our team. So it's like he essentially transferred from the NFL to Miami. And that was a good decision. Yeah. Like he should not have gone to the NFL. I think we all agree that was one of the better decisions he's made in his life. Go. Is he 4 million, 8 million or something? Did they give him 8 million? Was that the number?
Yeah. Did you see Mark the clip of him and Mark Richt actually, where Mark Richt was like, you and I are kind of alike. Like we both went from Georgia to Miami, but the only difference is you got paid a lot more than I did.
Oh wow!
I thought that was awesome. But yeah, I don't think Georgia fans are ever gonna be satisfied with anything Carson Beck said up there, unless he got up on the mic and was like, I sure wish I was still playing for Georgia. I sure regret transferring. Like, which he's not gonna say that because he is not going to say that. So, like,
I should have never bought that Lamborghini.
Yeah, like you want him to. I think there are some people that just want him to go up there and apologize to the Bulldog Nation for everything. And it's like, he's not going to do that because he's focused on his, it's gone. It's over with. Like, I think it's just Georgia fans being bitter about the way things ended and stuff like that. They just don't like Carson Beck and they're looking for more.
Yeah.
Like Carson
Beck. I think that's what it is. Like he literally was throwing zero shade at Georgia, and the number of Georgia accounts I saw, like it's one thing like fan accounts and stuff, but like Dog Nation, like said something about it, and it's like, dude, he's not saying anything about Georgia. Like, what do you want him to? What do you want him to say? Like, I wish I was at my previous school. This ACC really sucks.
I think that's what I think people wanted to say. He's like, all this is like, yeah, I think it was a good decision transferring here, and I'm excited. And I've met people, and I've been doing my best to build a rapport with everyone. Everyone's like, oh my god, he hates Georgia. Like, dude,
it's building chemistry with his receivers. Never did that with our receivers. It's like,
because our receivers suck.
No, it's just dumb. It's like the opposite is Freddie Freeman and being like giving speeches and crying when he comes back. And I got tired of that. I was like, dude, you could if you wanted to be on the Braves long term, you could have been on the Braves. Fucking go to the Dodgers dugout. Let's play ball. But that was weird. Like how many times he kept crying and like addressing it.
Press tour he did, being like, I'm sorry for leaving the Braves. I didn't want to. It's like, dude, it's like you're on the Dodgers now. Like, just be on the.
By the way, not the topic we're talking about, but it's year 4 of this situation, and I would say Matt Olson is better than Freddie Freeman right now in year 4. That's
right now, yeah. I mean,
so it's like the first 3 years is supposed to be pretty even. The long term is why Olson was, he's like 4 or 5 years younger. So, but we're not talking Braves right now. But I have been pleased with Matt Olson. All-star snub, by the way. Matt Olson, or at least all-star starter snub. Matt Olson's been super underrated this year. But yeah, Carson Beck, Georgia fans, I don't know. We don't have to root for him at Miami now.
I cannot wait for the season to start, man.
He's the number one reason Georgia.
Every bad game he has, he cannot have a single bad game. Georgia fans are going to eat him alive.
That Florida game, like, are Georgia fans going to root for Florida over Carson Beck? Like,
I bet a lot of them will, and that'll be.
No, I can't see that. I'll definitely be rooting for Beck in that one. If no other games.
After what I saw today, after the lengths that people will go to just hate Carson Beck, there might be some people who forget and they start rooting for the Gainesville team, like.
For the Gators, I don't know. Yeah. That's a massive game. I'm excited about that.
That'll be fun. That'll be really fun. I'm gonna be the biggest Carson Beck fan ever when that game starts.
Yeah. On a down note, sir. These are, I don't know if we should be talking about these things that are currently happening, but allegedly two different Georgia recruits now are facing legal issues. Seven Cloud is some sort of a domestic violence allegation. So number one ranked JUCO player in the country. That would be a real bummer if Georgia loses him in the class, and obviously, especially if he did something terrible and violent. If those allegations are true, that's also terrible. And then Chase Calicut. This news just broke like a few minutes before we started the show. Some sort of, what's the exact term? Violent.
It was like, I think it was road rage, and he allegedly started shooting at people.
Yeah, violent driving incident. He's he was the one driving, and supposedly the passenger was like shooting a gun out of his car.
Oh, so, okay, yeah, the passenger was okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Some teenagers that did like a U-turn to like get away from him, or at least that's what like the report is saying. So that's just a wild incident. So if all that is true, I seriously doubt Chase Calicut will be playing for Georgia. Like, we can make a joke here that he definitely fits the culture. We only know one speed here in Athens, but if he's doing violent stuff, I can't support that.
Yeah, I can't either. I mean, this is yet another really bad look for the program. Yet another, if these things are at all true, another really stupid decision by a young man who is, I mean, like, it's just so it. I feel like I'm just saying that, I'm what can you even say at this point after enough of these,
I will say this is terrible decision making. But this isn't a bad look for Georgia's program. I mean, he doesn't even play at Georgia to this point. So it's like if he's on the team and representing the university and doing things like that.
But like that's kind of the thing now. It's like, damn, your commits are getting arrested too. Like, you kind of see, like, I don't know, man. I mean, it's like there's nothing I feel like I can even say other than just like it's embarrassing for all sides. It's unfortunate for all sides, and it sucks that these people are allegedly hurting people and stuff. Like, it just sucks. It's just insane that this keeps happening. Allegedly.
No, it definitely is. Allegedly, for sure. We want to cover our tracks there. But yeah, I mean, if this stuff's true, I mean, I doubt either of these guys ever plays for the Georgia Bulldogs, which would just be a real bummer in terms of just their on-field talent, which is not to like make light of, real world serious situations, but we're here because we talk football, and that's our number one jurisdiction. But yeah, Georgia does have a bunch of DBs in this class, so maybe they'll be all right. Maybe they can find someone to replace him if they have to. But yeah, just a crazy story. You hear about racing and speeding and stuff like that. This is some next level stuff, if true.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's get into the main event of tonight's show, sir. The most dangerous game. Georgia's not hunting a human being, but I think, like you kind of prefaced at the start of the show, everyone knows those Alabama and Texas games in Athens are going to be most likely College game day. If Georgia's season goes well, both of those will be College game day. I lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? Talking about Georgia and Alabama. Yes, the ticket prices.
Huge.
Oh yeah, the ticket prices alone will tell you that those are the biggest games of the season. It's just insane what it's costing just to get the worst seat in the house. But I got to be at one of them, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll have to do something.
I went to Georgia for 4 years. I haven't been to a game in the stands since I was a sophomore because I was doing red and black the whole time.
Oh, look at this guy!
I want to be with like 90,000 of my best friends again.
There you go. Yeah, and the atmosphere for those games is just going to be insane. But so I think those are the easiest games for like the most that everyone is circling on their schedule. So outside of those, and you can give me a couple if you want, but like just what's the first game you think of that's the most dangerous game on Georgia's schedule outside of Alabama and Texas?
Ole Miss, because I'm still scarred from the game last year. I know Ole Miss lost a lot of talent, and including their starting quarterback, and a lot that is significant. But Ole Miss is helmed by a man, Lane Kiffin, who has made no secret of how much he really, really wants to beat Georgia and how much he revels in it. I mean, I'm not gonna say he built his team to beat Georgia, because that just sounds like a super dumb, egotistical fan take. But he recruited those guys to be able to beat that Georgia team. And
I mean, he literally said that, and it was Georgia being number one. So he's trying to be like the number one team. Yeah, it makes sense.
The way they just kicked Georgia in the teeth last year, I know that it was, this rainy nightmare game where a bunch of stuff went wrong and everything, but that's a tough team. I know that the last time they came to Athens, it didn't go well for them at all, but off the memory of last year, I think that's going to be a really tough game. It's sitting at a weird place in the schedule. It's right after the Auburn game, right before Florida. I'm sure we'll talk about Auburn in a second, but that one's got potential to really really do some damage. I feel like Ole Miss, that one. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna wrap it up after this, but that one drive or two drives last year where Jackson Dart got injured and Austin Simmons came in the game, he tore it up. So that was going to be good next year. We saw firsthand. So, yeah, I think Ole Miss can be pretty scary next year. I always like watching them play, but I didn't really like watching them play against Georgia last year.
No, I'm with you, man. I think, and I get like South Carolina vibes from it, and this is what I mean. Taking it back to like early 2010s, it's like finally Mark Richt was beating Tennessee and Florida and Auburn and basically beating everyone on Georgia's schedule, but now we're losing to South Carolina like 3 years in a row. It was like, okay, so we just replaced it with a different team. And it was just super frustrating. Like, if we get this Alabama monkey off our back and then all of a sudden Ole Miss beats us 2 years in a row, it's like, what the hell is happening here?
Good thing they haven't really gotten Alabama. I mean, I guess they did beat them in the Natty, but I don't think Georgia has vanquished the Alabama demons.
That would be assuming they like a 2025 win is in there. If they lose to Alabama and Ole Miss, there's more problems.
You're just kind of a bum,
But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's hard to. I mean, other than the fact that I feel like 2024 was the year for Ole Miss. I think that's the most talented roster they've ever had, and I just don't see them abusing our offensive line in 2025 the way they did last year. It looked like damn synchronized swimming, synchronized dancing. That one play where
Ivy, the Prince,
there was literally like 5 dudes that all beat their offensive linemen in the exact same way. It looked like it was synchronized. I've never seen anything like it in that game last year. So Ole Miss is, it's definitely a dangerous game for all the reasons you laid out. But the fact that it's at home, I feel like Georgia was better in 2023, but Georgia absolutely blasted them the last time they came to Sanford Stadium. So maybe we see more of that, but obviously things are very different in 2025 than they were in 2023.
Yeah.
Before the season started, that's what's so interesting about Georgia in recent years is their schedule has been what it's been, with Auburn and Florida just being absolute just garbage, basically. And I would have told you the Tennessee game was easily the number one game I was worried about coming into this season, maybe even ahead of Alabama and Texas because of, Nico.
Yeah.
And I'm not even that high on Nico, but like third year Nico, like maybe he takes that next step. Gunnar Stockton's first real game as like the starter because we're playing Marshall and Austin P, not counting last year, obviously. So it's like his first big game of the 2025 and it's on the road in Knoxville. But now without Nico, I feel like it just changes a lot. And I just feel like there's no way that Tennessee team is going to be a top 5 team in the SEC next year. Like they might not be a top 10 team in the SEC. I think the media predict them like 9th, I think. And I'm not saying they're going to be that bad, but I think the Tennessee game is a little less dangerous than I would have said, prior to Nico transferring. Yeah. I think it comes down to Florida for me. Like I think Auburn is definitely a dangerous one.
I was going to say Auburn.
Yeah, and it's dangerous going into Jordan Hare, and I think Auburn could definitely be improved next year or this year, I should say.
They're going to be good, man.
Jackson, yeah, and they're wet, but they could also be terrible. They also wouldn't surprise you if they were terrible.
But yes, it wouldn't. But their passing game was like so bad last year. It was ridiculously bad. And Cam Coleman had a stellar freshman season. In spite of that, they got a serious quarterback. Jackson Arnold, even if he's better, he's going to be better than Peyton Thorne. I'm not gonna sit here.
Low bar.
Yeah, but he's going to be I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's gonna just tear it up or anything. But I do think he's going to make Auburn at least have a competent passing attack, and we haven't really seen that from them in a while. So Auburn with a weapon like Cam Coleman, they grabbed Eric Singleton out of the portal. Hugh Freeze, I mean, this is pretty much kind of it for him. He has pretty much his job riding on this year, and if they turn out to be good, I mean, it's going to be tough going into Jordan Hare. Tennessee, I kind of agree with you. It's I would have said that too, because your first road test of the year being Neyland, oh God. But
yeah,
even as amazing of an offensive mind Josh Heupel is, that is a Herculean task trying to assemble a team after your starting quarterback transfers the day of the spring game. That's the kind of stuff that's kind of the season.
And then what's the latest? Boo Carter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boo Carter has not been with the team for 2 weeks or something like that.
There's he's just we don't really know what's going on, I don't think, but there's just been speculation that he might leave.
Yeah, and so that would be another huge. Tennessee came and pay guys to come to Knoxville. They all won out. No, but yeah, that game still obviously worries me. But like you said, Auburn, there's a lot has been made the last week or so of playing for a defensive coach in Brent Venables versus playing for an offensive coach in Hugh Freeze, and obviously the weapons. And what Oklahoma went through that period last year, where legit they're top 5-6 wide receivers were all injured. It was insane. Yeah. So maybe Jackson Arnold is a lot better than he appeared to be in 2024, and I think that's what it's going to take for Auburn to be good. Maybe just having a better supporting cast just makes him better. Yeah. I'm still not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if Auburn won. I feel I probably would be surprised if Auburn won 9 games. They won 8 games. I wouldn't be surprised. If they won 4 games, I probably wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. Auburn just feels most bipolar program.
If 9 games would be a pretty great season for considering where they've been at lately. I mean, that'd be huge. I kind of agree. This could just not work at all, and the bottom could just fall out, and Hugh Freeze could get fired in November. But I think Auburn's gonna be better than they were last year. I just do think that.
Yeah, and I think they should
always give Georgia a tough game, and Jordan Hare especially. That's never a game that Georgia can ever just sit back and relax through. That's the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Auburn always shows up for that game.
Yeah, that 2023 was the Brock Bowers show, and then 2021 we blew him out, right?
Brock Bowers had to go God mode for them to get out of that game alive.
Yeah, and he did. Making one-handed catches and everything.
There's only one Brock Bowers though, and he's not on the team.
Yeah, I remember my buddy texted me during that game, and he was like, I thought, because I was trying to tell him, I was like, I know this guy's a tight end, but I'm telling you, he's the best player. And I remember him text me that game, okay, Bowers is legit, dude. I didn't really know he was like that.
So nuts, bro.
And then I remember McConkey had that long touchdown, Stetson in 2021. That was a blowout, wasn't it?
Yeah, McConkey had that bomb. 2022 was in Athens. That's when Stetson had the run.
Yeah, I was at that game.
Yeah,
2019, I was just thinking about
21.
Jordan Hare because 2019 was the one they were up 21-0, and Eric Stokes dropped that pick in the end zone.
Yeah.
And then they came back, and it was like a game. Like they had the ball with like a minute left.
Yeah, they had the ball with this dinosaur.
Yeah, and Trayvon Walker, I got that big sack. I love that. I love when Georgia has that rotation. Maybe that's what we're gonna miss the most of this portal era, where we just had those third down packages that was just like exclusively 5-star freshmen, like just Nakobe Dean and Trayvon Walker and Nolan Smith and all these dudes out there. Good times. But yeah, Auburn is definitely just going to Jordan Hare always worries you, but I feel like Tennessee and Auburn being just true road games are kind of those games everyone's circling. And then Texas and Alabama are those two huge national games. I feel like people are forgetting about the Gators. And I don't know, man. The cocktail party last year was just an awful game. It was just a terrible game to watch. Georgia did not look good at all. And that's without Lagway playing. Lagway played what, a quarter and a half in that game?
Got hurt in the first half, I think.
I think that touchdown he threw was like a minute or two into the second quarter, I think, and then he got hurt a little bit after that. But yeah, so if Lagway plays, is that game different a year ago? Probably. That's probably Carson Beck's worst game, I think, of last season. Like I was able to defend him. Like, yeah, he looked bad in that second quarter versus Alabama, but he balled in other parts of that game. The Florida game was that was probably one of his worst performances, probably his worst performance of the season.
That was his worst game.
Just making some awful decisions with the football. But yeah, I mean, everyone's putting everything on DJ Lagway, it feels like. So, a football team is more than just one player, but everyone is just kind of like thinks about teams in the sense of their quarterback. And if Lagway is the best quarterback in the conference, then Florida could be the best team in the conference. I don't know that it works that way. But I mean, the upside that Lagway does have is just, I feel like it's the ultimate wild card of the entire SEC 2025 SEC season. Like if DJ Lagway comes out and he is Jaden Daniels or Joe Burrow or Cam Newton or some insert SEC legend here, who knows how good Florida can be. And I'm not saying he's going to be that, but Bryce Young, whoever, Tua. I think that's just the ultimate X factor in the SEC this year. And with all the question marks on Georgia's team, the Florida game is definitely the one that makes me the most nervous. It's been a while since we truly worried about Florida beating us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe we're taking the Gators for granted right now.
Yeah, Lagway is the real deal, I think, man. I mean, I know he's got some durability problems, and he missed a lot of their spring with some stuff. But he made some plays in that Georgia game. That touchdown he had, I mean, I agree. It's not fair to just sit here and say he's going to be the next SEC legend or anything right off the bat. But anytime a quarterback like that is on the field, your team has got a shot if he is what he's supposed to be. So. I don't know. I just hate to give Florida props, but yes, that game, they only that's the biggest regular season game of the year. I feel like for both teams in a way, just in terms of at least how much Kirby Smart hates that team. So
I personally
don't know.
We've talked about this before. I feel more Nico vibes from it. I don't know that he's just real deal best player in the country. Kind of Nico was being talked about going into last year. I feel like we're a little premature with it. I'm not saying he's not though. I'm betting against it currently, but I'm not saying it's impossible. If you go back to 2019 and you say, is Joe Burrow going to be the best quarterback in college football this year? I probably would have bet against that too. I probably would have bet against Cam Newton being the Heisman Trophy winner in 2010. What first year starter from Auburn? Oh, what? No,
yeah, that's crazy.
I will say Kirk Herbstreit. Shout out to Kirk Herbstreit. He was the first person I ever heard mention Auburn that 2010 year. I remember watching SportsCenter someday, and he was like, "Some dark horse teams win the championship, so and so, and look out for Auburn." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "What is this guy talking about?" And Yeah, little did I know they got the greatest player of all time at a junior college.
The stat that I never will forget about that team is like the one that you hear a lot is like Cam Newton's the only player on that offense that ever took an NFL snap.
Is that right?
Yes, and now that's a lot. That's because remember their tight end Kirkin, like he was probably going to the NFL
That's
before he tragically passed away, but still, yes, Cam Newton is the only member of that team on offense that ever took a snap in the NFL.
Well, and you remember the Michael Dyer situation, right? Do you remember Michael Dyer?
Yeah.
He I think someone lied to him. He was from Arkansas. He rushed for 1,000 yards that year. He was a freshman. And then he transferred to Arkansas State. And I think there was some sort of he thought he could play at Arkansas State immediately because I think he thought Arkansas State was FCS level, but it's not. Arkansas State's an FBS team. And so he had to sit out a year. And then he played at Arkansas State for a year because I think Malzahn was at Arkansas State at that point. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was he was really good as a freshman, and then you never heard of Michael Dyer ever again. It was the strangest thing. That was bizarre. And their defense wasn't even that good that year. Their defense was the 40th ranked defense. That's Cam Newton over Joe Burrow. It's that's usually the number one data point.
Yeah, we'll never see that hard of a carry again.
But, no, that's some 1980 Herschel Walker stuff.
Players, we're hyping up our rival teams' quarterbacks on here, man.
That's why I had to throw Herschel Walker in there.
Yeah. Herschel Walker was really good too.
No, but Cam Newton is the greatest I've ever seen. Man, at least we didn't have to deal. I guess it's for Georgia fans, doesn't really matter. You went Florida, Auburn, they're both rivals, but at least we didn't have to deal with the Tim Tebow years followed by 2 dominant years of Cam Newton. That would have just been the most absurd thing ever. But yes, so so I think those are the most dangerous games. I think those are.
I think we kind of hit them
outside of those. I mean, I don't even know who else really scares me. I guess Georgia Tech is really the only other team.
Kentucky really gave them a game last year.
Yeah, Kentucky did get Georgia game. That's at home.
Kentucky should have won that game, dude. But no, yeah, they're going to be kind of awful.
Should they have won the game? Did something happen?
No. No, Georgia just played so bad that they didn't deserve to win.
Yeah, they played terrible because Arian Smith had the 2 big fumble recoveries, right? Didn't he have a huge one in that Kentucky game? And he had the one in the SEC championship down near the goal line. And then you go on the road at Mississippi State. Mississippi State was a game in 2022 for the first half.
Mississippi State was a game last year.
I mean,
Georgia played awful in that game, dude.
They did, but it was like a 31-10, and they kind of came back or something, didn't they? I feel they were up.
They ended up with 30 points. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 40. Was it 42-35 or something like that? What was the score?
I think it was more than that.
Was it 41-31?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so I think, but they definitely gave him a game. I'll give you that for sure. But I remember because they took the punt back for a touchdown, the last play of the first half in 2022, and then I think McConkey's reverse was the first possession of the second half. He took it 70 yards for a touchdown, and then I think they kind of blew him out after that. In 2022, what was 20? Was that 2022? Yeah, that's 2023, right? Wait, am I getting confused? No, 2022. Yeah, 45-19 was the final score.
Yeah, all of the rivalry games could be pretty good games this year. I think Auburn, Florida, Georgia Tech, and of course Alabama and Texas are rivals now. The only rivalry game that I feel the team is kind of not by no fault of their own, really. They're just kind of a little doomed is Tennessee just because of that whole situation. But Georgia could drop one of these games in this year that they haven't dropped in a while. I'm not saying I think they, but I think it's more possible going into this year than it ever has because we just don't know as much about this Georgia team as we usually do going into the year.
Yeah, I think some naysayers would say, Georgia got good at the same time their rivals got bad, with Florida and Auburn. It's that's probably not the reason Georgia got good, but it's not nothing. It didn't hurt Georgia to go undefeated in the regular season.
Yeah, it's not like the reason why Georgia's been so dominant, but like it definitely helped.
It definitely helped to go undefeated.
Sucking the year Georgia started making the playoff every year. Like,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that's really that's the whole schedule basically. And I think Georgia Tech being in Mercedes-Benz Stadium is just a huge disadvantage for Georgia Tech. So I'm not sure why they want to do that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because that's gonna be a neutral game basically.
Yeah, I mean maybe that's probably. I mean that might be 75-25 Georgia. Like think about how Georgia.
They went up 17-0 on Georgia in Sanford last year. So
I'm not talking about the score. I'm just talking about the fans.
Like, I thought you were saying Georgia's going to win by 50. I was like,
75-25.
75 points. Yeah.
No. Georgia set a record. No, yeah. I think the way they come in and dominate Bobby Dodd Stadium, I imagine they'll put even more fans in the bins. So
there's some rich Georgia fans.
Questionable. I mean, I guess the paycheck is worth it.
There are rich Tech fans too, so it's a great
and then we got Justin Farmer chiming on the chat. It was Justin Farmer? Is that the guy on the news?
Yeah.
WSB, is that his name? Justin Farmer?
I was like, wait a second.
I appreciate you tuning in, Justin. This Georgia roster is absolutely loaded. I hope you're right, Justin. I think it's loaded on the on paper. If you look at the recruiting rankings of all this current roster, I think it is ridiculously loaded. Yeah. But we just haven't seen contributions from the Jordan Halls, from the Joseph Jonah Janye, from even Justin Williams and Chris Cole and Ellis Robinson. Like there's a lot of 5-star talent that hasn't really played at Georgia to this point. And maybe this is the year a lot of them break out. Maybe Georgia's young and they lose 3-4 games. I don't know. I would assume they don't lose 3-4 games, but this schedule is brutal this year.
Yeah, this is as much of a crapshoot, I feel like, going into the year as we've had in a while. They're just every team in college football is being hit by this a little bit, but Georgia really this year is just so young, and there's just not that many guys coming back that were main contributors last year. And they lose guys to the NFL every year, and they've been doing it for a while, but this is the first time in a while it's like that next reload of like, we know we have this guy stepping in, like that's not really there as much. And that's not me saying that I don't think these guys are good, or that this team is just going to be garbage, but I do think there's just so much more of an unknown factor here than I can't really think of a year in the Kirby Smart era where it's been this much of like,
Yeah, I would say maybe 2018 after that first really good team. They lost a lot.
They did.
I don't know if their schedule was as difficult as I'm sure it wasn't as difficult as this team.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's like you're saying, like Broderick Jones left, and you just knew you had Amarius Mims, and you're just like, yeah, we'll be fine. Like it was Cedric Van Pran was like a team leader, like a huge kind of leadership role on the team, like 3-year starter, and it wasn't even like a conversation. It was like, oh yeah, this Jared Wilson dude, he's a baller. Like we're not concerned about the center position at all. Yeah. Jalen Walker was really the first-year starter basically last year. Like he didn't really have a starting role, but I feel like Georgia fans knew about his potential, and he was the Buckus Award winner. So you've just seen there's just been a lot more knowns, and maybe like I was saying earlier, like we had some of those like third down packages to get those young guys in, and it even felt like when guys weren't starters yet, they'd still contributed a lot. Like before Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker were starters, I feel like everyone already knew how good they were. It's like, so right now there's a lot of positions that you're just, I don't know, a little nervous.
Yeah, I fully agree. We can go, you and I have done this before many times, but you can really go position group by position group, and every single one of them, it's like there's a unknown, not an unknown guy. Nobody on Georgia is just a complete who is this guy, but like new starter or someone. They're replacing people pretty much everywhere.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah, dude, I didn't want to do that. Wait, let me start reading this right now, man.
Oh, there you go.
I'm seeing Bob on Friday. I'm super stoked in Atlanta. Right on Friday.
Nice. Shout out to Bob Dylan.
Shout out to Bob Dylan.
I think the receiving group is what everyone's nationally sleeping on the most, personally. Like, I've seen like some list of like top 20 receivers in the SEC and stuff like that, and Zachariah Branch will be like 15 or 16. And I'm like, I'm not sure that Colby Young and Noah Thomas aren't better than Zachariah Branch. And then Dylan Bell too as like kind of that fourth option, and maybe some of these freshmen that can contribute. So I didn't even name London Humphreys or Sokovie White. So I just feel like this receiving group just feels a lot deeper than it was a year ago. That was the craziest thing that happened a year ago, because not only was our receiving core like the worst it's been in years, but they also played the fewest guys they'd ever played. And so we're just like, so Arian Smith, Dylan Bell, and Dominic Lovett are having to play like every snap. Like, we rotate all the time, and we're not rotating at all. It almost felt even worse. So it's like, these three aren't great, and we don't trust anyone else. So that was just a strange feeling for Georgia. But like, even when you had A.D. Mitchell and McConkey, it was like they were constantly rotating guys in and out. But I think this receiving core is going to be kind of a game changer for Georgia's offense this year.
Yeah, I really just feel like unless some combination of Gunnar Stockton and the offensive line is just garbage, terrible, then there's simply no way that the receiving core cannot improve on last year, because they led the FBS in drop passes last year, like quite famously. So there is just so much. There's nowhere to go but up. Like, unless the quarterback play or the offensive line protection is just like really bad, the passing game, I feel like, just has to be better.
Yeah, the O-line is definitely an X factor too. That's also unproven, but
also exactly. Like,
but we'll see. Justin, I appreciate you watching live. Appreciate the super chat. Tell your friends, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. The last thing we have here, sir, I believe Georgia just added a game with Tennessee State for 2026. Low key, like, big time NFL Hall of Famers at Tennessee State in their history back in the day. I know Ed Too Tall Jones with Tennessee State, but there's a few. I remember my brother, he played a D3 at and Fisk University was in his conference, their HBCU. They're like, I think maybe the oldest HBCU in the country, Fisk. It's in Nashville, but the games were played at Tennessee State for the conference tournament. And just going through like their Hall of Fame, like they had some big time tracks, like Olympians too. I think some women, like, was it FloJo? I don't know if she went to Tennessee State, but there was like some famous. I'm forgetting them right now, but Tennessee State had some big time history as far back in the day. But yeah, Georgia had them in 2026. Any thoughts on Tennessee State? Eddie George is their coach, right?
I believe he is. Yeah. Or actually, wait, no. Eddie George is somewhere else, I think. Let me see. Let me Google Eddie George.
Let me see.
Right? Green. Yeah, I don't know.
He left Tennessee State. Who's their head coach now?
It's Reggie Barlow. He used to be
okay.
Coach. He was previously the coach of the DC Defenders, and he was Virginia State's head coach for 5 years, and then he played in the NFL for like 7 years.
Also, there's Nolan Smith, their basketball coach.
Arnold. There was a Nolan Smith who played in the NBA. I wonder if that's him.
No, that's that one for Duke.
It is? Okay, yeah. I don't really know much about Tennessee State's team, but this is like the first time I think I can remember seeing Georgia's schedule in HBCU, unless you can think of another one. So that's pretty cool.
I know they played Southern University.
Southern.
That's when the dude got paralyzed.
Yeah, Devin. Yeah, that's right. So that was probably a decade ago. So I don't know.
Was it that long ago? Shit.
Around then, yeah. So
was Mark Richt the coach for that happened?
Mark Richt was the coach.
Yeah.
So this is cool to see. Get them on the schedule for 2020. Hopefully, Georgia can schedule a notable like a better out of conference game pretty soon. But Lord knows if they'll do that.
Yeah. So would this have been the Oklahoma game? 2026?
I think it would have been.
Was 2024 supposed to be the? I think we were supposed to go at Oklahoma in 2024.
Wasn't like UCLA involved at one point?
Oh, you're right. UCLA, that might be the 2026 one that just got replaced. But we were definitely supposed to play, I think, the Tennessee Tech game.
Georgia Oklahoma would have been an out of conference home and home.
I think the Tennessee Tech game, I think last year, I want to say, was that the one that they – oh, no, it would have been 2023 that they canceled it because like they couldn't play both of the home and home games.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because it was Ball State. That was what it was. The Ball State game was supposed to be at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Because it was like that was the second year.
Yeah.
That was the second year of Alabama, Texas. So they didn't have to cancel theirs. But we were like, we're not just going to get one game and go on the road.
Which
that's a bummer. So I think you're right.
All week going to that game, everyone I remember seeing on campus was like, "Oh shit, Oklahoma this week is so dope." Like,
yeah,
everyone was excited for that game.
That'd have been a good year to play Oklahoma too, right? They weren't good in 2023, were they?
They were not. They haven't been good in a minute. But I like Brett Venables.
Or maybe they were. I think Oklahoma was good in 2023. They were bad last year. That's not important. No.
I'll Google it later.
Yeah, they went 10-3 in 2023 because they beat Texas. That was Texas's only loss, right? And then they beat Texas that year, and that's the year Texas beat Alabama and Tuscaloosa and all that.
Yeah,
but yeah, so. I don't know. Hopefully, it's not a memorable cupcake game. Is there any memorable cupcake games you can think of off the top of your head? I feel like they're all bad memories. I guess
the cupcake game for me is Nicholls State. I mean, that almost happened. Like Georgia almost lost that game. It took a late defensive touchdown for them to get out of that game alive. So that's like the one for me. I remember they were like they played Murray State and it was like tied 7-7 at one point, or maybe Murray State was even winning at one point or something.
I think we needed Grayson Lambert. I think we were on like our own 10, and Grayson Lambert converted like a 3rd and 12 or something. We had to like pick it up in the air to like to run the clock out in that one.
Yeah,
what was it like 22-21 or something like that?
26-24, I think.
26-24.
That's off the dome. That might be completely wrong. But.
Okay. That was a bad one. I remember Georgia Southern took Georgia to overtime.
Yeah.
But was that the last year of the Mark Richt era?
Oh my God. Yeah, wait, I was at that game. I can't believe I forgot that one. Yeah. I was literally there, and they went to overtime with Georgia Southern. And
man, you wouldn't be able to let that one down.
Running a show up to win it in overtime for them. I don't even think I think this was like post Jerick McKinnon, Georgia Southern too. Like this was not the Georgia Southern team that beat Florida that one time. Are
you sure that was post Jerick McKinnon?
I think it might have been. Let me see.
That was way too close for comfort. Because Georgia still hasn't played like Georgia State or Kennesaw State.
Yeah, no, you know who they had? They had Matt Breida.
Oh, okay. So that's a memorable one. I think I remember I want to say Marshall, the year David Green's like senior year, when Georgia was like number 1, I think, coming in the season by some people, or at least like top 2, top 3. And like the 3rd or 4th game, I think they beat Marshall like 13-3 or something. Some like terrible game. I think there might have been a UAB one in there. Although I guess UAB is not the same kind of cupcake as some of these. I guess Marshall isn't the same kind of cupcake as either.
UAB game from 21 deserves a shout out for being like the first time it was like, oh wait, Brock Bowers, who's that?
Oh yeah,
that catch and run he had, and then they played UAB 2 years later, and he went off again. Like he owns UAB.
So he's got that going for him.
Yeah.
Stetson was like national
accomplishments. Owns UAB.
Yeah, because I mean that's the game a lot of people point to, right? Like Carson Beck was supposed to be the backup, but whatever happened in practice that week, Stetson ended up getting the start, and the rest is history, as they say. I will say the first Brock Bowers moment was the Clemson game. It was like we threw the ball to him like three times on like the first three plays of the game. It was like, who the fuck is we're throwing to this tight end, this true freshman tight end, like the first three plays of the game. That was startling. I guess when the UAB game happened, you're like, okay, maybe this tight end is the real deal.
Yeah, he was. What a player. What a guy.
But yeah, then I remember this isn't a cupcake, but just as far as non-conference games go, I remember being Boise State 2005. So I'd have been 15 years old. My buddy's dad bet me Georgia plus 21. And I was like, or Georgia and 21 points. I guess it would have Georgia minus 21. And I was like, he was just a real shit talker. And I'm like, I don't even know how betting works at like 15. And I'm thinking he's saying Boise State's going to beat Georgia by 21. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. But he wasn't. So I didn't even understand the bet I was taking, but I won the bet because Georgia won like 48-13 or something. I don't know. The DJ Shockley coming out party.
Shockley.
Oh man, that was a good one.
Beast.
But yeah, maybe Georgia played Georgia State. I think Kennesaw State's played Alabama a couple times.
But like Georgia never schedules in conference cupcake games. Like that's like
I don't might as well. Like what's
I don't know why they do it, but I heard a story one time. Kennesaw State's longtime head coach Brian Bohannon, they got rid of him like last year. It was super messed up. But he was like that guy, like he like built their program basically. He played for Georgia with Kirby. Like they were teammates together at Georgia.
Oh, okay.
And Kennesaw State like used to run the triple option. And back when Tech was running the triple option, like Kirby's first year or second year at Georgia, he called Brian Bohannon and was like, hey, like, do you have any tips or whatever for like how to defend the triple option? Like, how do you deal with this? And Brian Bohannon was like, I'll tell you, but only if you schedule us. And Kirby's I think his exact words were fuck no. And he hung up.
Oh, wow.
So that's just a story I heard from one of my bosses a couple of years ago. It might not even be true, but I think it sounds about right.
Sounds true. I want to believe it.
I choose.
That's crazy though, because I think Mercer's even played Alabama like once or twice. Like I think it's interesting. I mean, if you're gonna play Samford or Austin Peay or Tennessee Tech, I don't know. It seems like it makes sense to play the small schools in the state of Georgia, but what do I know? I don't think there's any.
There's some reason for it. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's like if you lose, then that school gets to like hang that over your head as for recruits. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
maybe it's just a lose-lose. I don't know. There's a lot of respect with Del McGee, obviously, so maybe they'll get that. I don't know. If you respect him, do you want to play him or do you not want to play him? I guess.
We need to schedule. We need to schedule Syracuse. Schedule Coach Fran.
Yeah, I was actually I had a running back in the Road to Glory mode on NCAA, and going into his sophomore year, I thought I'm gonna like move into the starting role, and they get some transfer from Georgia State who's like an 88 overall. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? But yeah, so Del McGee, he's coaching up those running backs at Georgia State,
clearly
sending them back to Athens. But that's all I have, sir. Do you have anything else for the good people?
Man, I think that's all I got too, dude. Next week it's gonna be like a month away, basically.
Yeah, man. Next week will next week be August, or we'll still be in July next week. But yeah, man.
29th, but still.
Yeah, and I'll be into my countdown by then. So for the folks that don't know, only one. I was actually texting my buddy earlier today, or he texted me. He's the only other person I've ever seen actually do this. So like I've shared this with multiple people, but he actually was like, "Oh, that's sick. I'm gonna do that." He's a big Auburn fan. But once I get close to the season, I just change my background like every day. It's like we're 35 days away. I'll put Rennie Curran on my background or something, and then change it up each day, kind of get closer to the season. And so now my buddy's an Auburn guy. He texted me today. He's like 38. I was like 38. This is 39. And I was like, oh yeah, Auburn's got that
they play
Baylor
Friday.
game on Friday night,
yeah,
the
they
first
do
game of the
play
season.
Friday.
So it's gonna be a good one. But yeah, so we're 39 days away, sir. I appreciate everyone who's watching live tonight. Please like, share, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.